We are Homegrown, born in Calgary and raised on curiosity. We're storytellers, media makers, and we believe that creativity thrives in collaboration and community. We mix mentorships with hands-on learning and support artists for positive mental health in the media art space. This series follows the pursuit of our vision, a van that's part camper, part studio, part classroom, a workshop on wheels we call the Creative Caravan. You'll see our wins and our wipeouts, every episode bringing us that much closer to our dream. This is the story of our journey to help you share yours. This is the road to Creative Caravan. What's up, everybody? I hope you really enjoyed episode 1 of this thing. Let us know if you did and if you didn't, or what we can perfect on. But right now, we're moving on to episode 2. Your voice has power. What does that mean? We have already launched a community needs assessment that is province-wide. It's called Project Unite. That is an acronym, and I'll put it down here. But we are gathering voices and perspectives of people that live outside of the major cities in Calgary and Edmonton, where most of stuff happens. But we know that there's people out there who are making film and doing cool things that are in rural communities and Indigenous communities here. So why not get their perspectives? So that's what we're here to do, is talk to our program developer, which also is my wife, and a social worker, to talk about what's going on outside of these major areas. I'm just here at the coffee shop, so we're gonna pop in, we're gonna have a conversation, and follow us down below. We also have some merch coming, so definitely order that. You can pre-order it, and that's gonna be in the link down below as well. So let's get into it. I'm here with Caitlin, who is our program developer and support for Project Unite. And I kind of want to just ask you about how Project Unite's going to go, what it entails, where it goes from after Project Unite, and what needs to be done beforehand. But first, how does Project Unite fit in with the greater Creative Caravan plan?
Yeah. So why are we doing it? Project Unite is about going into rural Alberta. It's about meeting with artists and communities that exist outside of our urban centers. We want to hear from them. We want to hear their stories, their lived experiences, their, what's going well for them, where are they struggling, what do they need. We want to hear all of those things. And we want to do that because all of our programming is really focused on artists. It's artist-centered. We lean into lived experiences. We lean into what people are asking us for, and the Creative Caravan is going to do just that. It's taking these conversations that we're having and merging them into the programming, so that when Creative Caravan goes out and is in these smaller communities and is working with these artists and the communities, that it's doing that in a way that is actually beneficial to the community. It is in a response to what they've asked for.
Definitely, and the way you fit in is like you've been a social worker now for over a decade, and you've kind of been working with people directly, individually, and as big groups. How does that kind of lend itself to being able to make Project Unite happen, and then taking that information and making it a reality with Creative Caravan?
My experience definitely is in the field of people and hearing from them and developing plans around what they need. So my social work practice is rooted in that person-centered approach. So really making sure that the person or the community is at the center of whatever we're doing. And I think that experience lends itself to this adventure that we're going on in 2026 to meet with and to build relationship with rural Alberta and artists in these communities. And so being able to hear stories, being able to have these conversations with folks, and then kind of walk away from that and understand what the need is, taking that need, and then implementing it into the structure of what we're doing. That's kind of where I'm going to shine in this whole project. That's what I do.
So we've gathered all the information, we've had all these conversations. How does this help with accessibility for filmmakers in these spaces, in these communities?
Yeah, so accessibility is something that we are really passionate about. We want to make filmmaking, storytelling, the arts accessible across the board. And how do we make something accessible when we don't know what the barriers are? So Project Unite really comes together to understand what the barriers are, understand where people need access. So we're looking to people, we're looking to their lived experiences. What is their reality in their community? What is it that they need? What barriers are they identifying? And then once we have that, that's where we can mold our programming and kind of what we're doing and the links that we're doing, the resources that we're doing to directly impact that. So creating access points that might not exist now through the understanding of the lived experience of the folks that are already in the community.
That's fair,
Yeah.
So we've already kind of started with the research, which was a local needs assessment that we did here. Didn't have a fancy name, it was just a community needs assessment within Calgary. But from that kind of, that initial data gathering, was there anything that surprised you or anything that stood out as something that you're already learning that we can kind of implement into Project Unite, but also further into like the Creative Caravan?
Yeah, there's two things that that loudly came through, and one of them was representation. People want to learn and they want to engage with organizations where they can see themselves. So they want people who look like them, who have similar backgrounds, who they can relate to with lived experience. That some of their struggles are similar. They want representation, and the other one is financial access. So
Huge.
That's a big one. How do you make a film, write a book, create something when you don't have the funds to do it?
Yeah.
And so maybe you're applying for grants and you're getting denied them, or you have no idea how to apply for a grant because that's a whole thing in and of itself. People come from different socioeconomic statuses, and without access to equipment, they can't create what they want. They can't tell the stories that they want to tell, the stories that are burning inside them to tell. They can't get out because they don't have access to the things they need. And one of the big barriers is finances. So how do you get a mentor when you can't pay for a mentorship? How do you get a camera when you can't pay for the rental?
I'm glad you mentioned mentorship, because that's another big aspect of like the flow and the ecosystem that we're trying to create is this mentorship program called Sparks.
Yeah.
Also an acronym. What is the process of developing that mentorship to match the information coming from the needs assessments and Unite, but also to fit in naturally with Creative Caravan? What's the work that's gone into that so far?
Yeah. Right now we're in the process of kind of synthesizing all of our information, but it's really, I've said this from the beginning, I have great ideas. I have big plans, but my ideas and my plans don't always matter, because if they don't match what the community needs, it's not going to work. And so we've really been working this last 4 months to hear from the community and take that information and implement it into our process. One of the big things that came out is, I want to meet the mentor before I commit to it. I want to have a sit down and see if we even jive. So part of what we're trying to do is make these really intentional mentorships, and part of that is including the mentee in that. So we're not just a mentorship program, it's whatever other resources you might be needing in your life as well, we can help support the connection to those.
Sure, yeah. Seems like a lot of you has gone into this project as well. How does this, the challenges and the stuff that you've been identifying with these community needs assessments, how have they jived with your experience as a social worker, as a person kind of leaning into that person-focused practice?
Yeah, it's really exciting for me. So I've always really loved working with people and finding that point of connection where, it's that this is what I want to work on, this is the goal that I want, this is what I need to get there, and being able to supply the resources to get people where they want to go. That's always been my favorite part of social work, or helping people navigate a system that is set up to be confusing. Navigating systems is not easy, and so being able to be in a position where I can help people navigate the system, have them engage in a program that is going to get them to where they want to go, and they're going to feel supported and valued the entire time. That's really exciting for me and my social work practice, and being able to kind of come to that intersection of social work and the arts and how beautifully they pair is really exciting.
I love it. So this the title of this episode specific is Your Voice Has Power. And we're trying to show people that they do have power. That within this information that they're providing us, we're able to kind of maneuver, because we are a flexible organization, kind of maneuver our offerings based on what they need. But what can you tell people, or what can you share to kind of bolster that idea that your voice has power, that their voice has power?
Yeah. Your voice and your story are so important, and your experience is so important, and it's unique to you. So it's an honor to sit with somebody and have them share their story with us. And it's, I know for both of us, that's something we don't take lightly. We value that a lot, and we know the courage and the braveness that it takes to do that. If we want to see things change, if we want to see the industry change and become more accessible and lean into that more of that supportive and encouraging and value of the individual in the story, we need people's stories to do that. And we need voices to do that. And so there's lots of ways to use your voice and be able to contribute and connect with organizations like Homegrown or other arts organizations, other folks in the community to share. That information we can't do what we're doing without it.
Yeah.
We can't create change without voices.
For sure. What are you most looking forward to in this year?
I think meeting people. So I love stories. I love hearing people's stories, and I love being able to connect and just have those conversations. And so this 2026 is a year of that. It's a year of storytelling. It's a year of conversation. It's a year of connection. And I'm really excited about that piece specifically.
Yeah, and also just to reiterate, like we're trying not to, bust down the door of these communities and say this is how we're going to help you. We're listening to them so that we know what exists as support already.
Yeah.
And then we can either support that support or support in our own unique way. So if you want to follow us, we're also on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. I think MySpace, I don't know. We're sending up smoke signals. Please follow us along. And if you're liking this, comment and please like us. Talk to you later.